In this video I'm going to show you how to create tasks for Footsites within Sole. So first you're going to want to create a new task group by clicking the blue new task group button and then give it a name. You can name this however you want, however I suggest doing it dependent on the site or release that you're going for. And then choose Footsites from the site and create the group. You've now got a Footsites task group. You can have multiple Footsites task groups if you want. So for example, if you wanted a different group for Champs, Footlocker and East Bay to have 3 different groups, you can do that. Once you've created the task group, you're ready to create tasks using the task creator. From the site drop down, select the site you're going for, be that Champs, East Bay, Foot Action or Footlocker. Next, enter the product ID. Before a release, we'll put the product ID for each foot site within a guide in the Discord, so I would recommend checking out the Discord guide to get the product ID. If you want to test on the site and get a product ID yourself, it's simply located at the end of the URL and in the product description below the image. Paste the product ID in here. Next is size. Select random if you don't mind what size to get, or choose a specific size you want. You can also choose multiple sizes if you want to get a size range. Next is checkout mode. Simply choose card or PayPal. Footsites often cancel less with PayPal, so you may want to go for this option. Next is pre-solve. Pre-solve means you'll be able to solve the captures before the release occurs. So if you have this to false, that means you won't be pre-solving them, so you have to solve the captures when the release occurs. However, if you set this to true, this will allow you to solve the captures before the release. Next is capture sharing. Usually you'll have to solve one capture per one task. However, capture sharing means that one capture solved shares between tasks, so you'll only actually have to solve one capture per 25 tasks. Next is proxy list. You can either choose no proxy, use localhost to use your local. However, if you've loaded proxies into a proxy list, you can select the list here. Next is billing profile. This will show your billing groups, and you can expand the billing groups to see the profiles within it. Select all to create a task with each profile within this group, or select the specific profile you want from within this billing group. Next is scheduling. If you're using pre-solve especially, then you'll want to be using scheduling so that you can schedule the tasks to the time of the release and then pre-solve the captures beforehand. So if you're going to use this, enable scheduling and then set the timer to the time of the release. Finally is quantity. This is simply how many tasks you'll be creating. This will create one task per billing profile you've selected. So if the quantity is set to 5 and you've chose 5 billing profiles, it will be creating 25 tasks, as it will be 5 tasks per profile. To start a single task, click the green button to the right of each task, or to start all, click the start all button. To stop a task once started, click the blue pause button, or use the red stop all button at the top. You can edit an individual task using the grey pencil icon to the right of the task, and then change aspects within the task editor. If you want to edit all tasks within this task group, for example, if I had used the wrong product ID on all of these tasks and wanted to quickly change them, I can use the edit all button here. You can also narrow down tasks using the search function and then pair this with the edit all button. So for example, the edit all button will edit all of these tasks, but I might first want to narrow them down and then use the edit all button to change only specific tasks. For example, if I use the edit all button here, I'll be editing all of these tasks, the Champs, East Bay and Footlocker. However, I can use the search function to first search for Footlocker to bring up my Footlocker tasks and then edit all. Now I'm only editing the 4 tasks that have been searched for. You can use the search function in many other instances as well, to search via the site, the product, the proxy list, the billing profile, and the status, for example, to see your checkout success and your declines. You can also make use of some right-click functions to control tasks. Right-click a task, and then you can start, stop, edit, duplicate, delete, or view the logs of it. You can also do this with a selection by dragging. And now I've selected 4 tasks, so I can control these 4 tasks, starting, stopping, editing them, duplicating them, or deleting them. I can also make use of control on my keyboard and click through specific tasks. So if I hold control and then click these tasks, I'll be selecting these specific tasks. I can also make use of shift by clicking a task, then holding shift, then clicking another task to select all tasks between this. You can also right click on a task group to start the entire group, stop all tasks within it, edit them, or delete or duplicate the entire group. You can edit a task group's name by clicking the white pencil icon at the top. So for example, if I originally intended this to be for Champs, but it's now for all Footsites, I can now change it. I can also delete the entire group by clicking the red trash icon. I can also make use of import and export to import and export this entire task group. For example, if I've created tasks and I'm now moving machines but don't want to do a full bot export, I can export just this task group and then use the import button on my other machine or PC to import this entire task group. Since Footsites have now changed to Datadome, you'll have to solve captchas at the release time. So head to the captchas tab, create a captcha profile if you haven't already, make sure the solver type is set to Chrome V2 solver. Chrome V2 solvers are what you're going to want to use for Footsites drops. Open between 1 and 5 different Chrome V2 solvers, dependent on how many tasks you're running. The more harvesters you run, the better. We would currently recommend setting a timer to the time of the release on your tasks and then starting them between 15 and 30 minutes before. So if the drop is at 7 AM, I would set a timer to 7 AM but then start the tasks between 6:30 and 6:45. Enable pre-solve on the tasks, which will allow you to solve captchas within these harvesters before the release, so you will not have to solve them at the time when using pre-solve. Use captcha sharing on half of your tasks, which will be sharing these captchas to 25 other tasks, so usually you would be solving one captcha per one task. However, if sharing is enabled, you'll only have to solve one per 25 tasks. I recommend setting this to true on half of your tasks. If you have any more questions, feel free to open a ticket within the Discord and a support member will be happy to help. I would also check out the written guide within the Discord, as this will include useful information such as the product ID and any up-to-date tips and tricks we have.